Have you ever saved money so carefully that little by little you started cutting pieces out of your own life? Skipping meals, avoiding small comforts, saying no to simple joys, only to realize that even after all that sacrifice, one unexpected problem could still take everything away. There's a quiet truth many people learn too late. Saving money is important, but money is not meant to be locked away in fear. It is meant to support life, not replace it. In a small town where electricity failed almost every day, there lived a man named Ethan. He worked as a night security guard at a warehouse far from the crowded streets. His job was simple but tiring. Every morning he returned home with heavy eyes and an aching body, yet rest rarely came easily. His mind was always busy thinking about bills, responsibilities, and the uncertainty of the future. Ethan lived with his wife, Mia, and their young son, Leo. They were a quiet family, used to living carefully. But life in that town made even simple things difficult. When the power went out, food spoiled quickly, phones lost charge, and darkness filled every room. Even studying became a challenge. One evening, as they sat together for dinner, the lights suddenly went out again. Mia calmly lit a candle, her face showing more tiredness than frustration. Leo, holding his school notebook, looked at the weak flame and asked softly how he could study like that. His voice wasn't angry, just disappointed. That moment stayed with Ethan. That night, he made a decision. He would save money to buy a generator. People often said that once you had one, life became easier, safer. Ethan believed it. He took an old envelope, wrote the word generator on it, and hid it in a drawer. From that day on, he started putting money into it every week. To save faster, he began cutting back on everything. He stopped buying tea, stopped bringing fruit home, and ignored his worn-out shoes. Each sacrifice felt like a step towards safety. At first, watching the envelope grow thicker gave him comfort. It felt like progress. But life doesn't pause just because you have a plan. One night, Leo suddenly became very sick. His fever rose quickly, and they rushed him to the clinic. The doctor asked for payment before treatment. Ethan ran home, his hands shaking as he opened the drawer. Within minutes, most of the money he had saved disappeared. Leo recovered, but Ethan didn't feel relieved. Instead, a deep fear settled inside him. Soon after, their rent increased slightly, not enough to seem big, but enough to hurt. Then, at work, Ethan was told his shoes were unsafe and he had to replace them. Once again, the envelope became empty. Ethan began working longer hours. He slept less, spoke less, and smiled less. The more he tried to save, the more afraid he became of losing everything. Saving, which once felt like safety, had quietly turned into pressure. One night, during another blackout, Ethan stepped outside and noticed something unusual. Across the street, a neighbor's house was glowing with steady light, while the rest of the area remained dark. Curious, he walked over. It was Mrs. Carter, an elderly woman who sold snacks near the school. She welcomed him warmly and showed him her rechargeable lanterns. She explained that she charged them whenever electricity was available and rented them out during power cuts. It gave her income and peace of mind. Ethan stood there quietly, realizing something important. The money he had hidden away never helped him when life happened, but Mrs. Carter had turned a simple idea into something useful, something that worked even during difficult times. That night, Ethan went home and looked at his empty envelope. For the first time, he didn't feel shame. He felt clarity. The next day, with hesitation, he used a small amount of money to buy 2 rechargeable lanterns and a basic phone charger. It didn't feel safe, it felt risky, but something inside him had changed. He made a small arrangement with a nearby barber, helping him close his shop in exchange for charging the devices during the day. When the next blackout came, Ethan walked through the dark streets offering light and phone charging for a small fee. Many people refused, some didn't trust him, but a few agreed. That night, he earned only a little, but it felt different. This money came back. It had movement, purpose. Ethan started keeping a notebook, writing down every expense and every earning. He shared everything with Mia,
and for the first time, money was no longer a silent worry between them. Leo began helping too, writing names and times carefully, feeling proud to be part of something. Week by week, Ethan added more lanterns and small power banks. Their home didn't suddenly become rich, but it became calmer. Conversations were lighter. The fear didn't disappear, but it no longer controlled their lives. Neighbors began knocking on their door, not out of pity, but with respect. There were challenges. One storm damaged a lantern, bringing back old fears. But this time, Ethan didn't freeze. He repaired it using his earnings and continued forward. Months later, he managed to buy a small solar panel. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough. The day it powered their home, even for a short time, Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in years: peace. That night, when the electricity went out again, their home remained softly lit. Leo looked at him and asked if they were finally safe. Ethan smiled gently and replied that safety wasn't about hiding money anymore. It was about building something that could continue even after difficulties. He kept the old envelope flattened inside his notebook as a reminder, because he had learned something simple yet powerful. Saving money alone cannot protect a life, but using money with purpose, courage, and understanding can slowly turn fear into stability. Life doesn't wait for perfect plans or full savings. It grows through small, brave steps, taken even when the darkness hasn't fully disappeared.